Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tear into a really fantastic leadership playbook called Moving the Needle. It's basically 3 decades of hard-won wisdom from global business coach Paul Donkers, all boiled down into practical, no-fluff advice that you can actually use to make an impact. Okay, so let's jump right into the core idea, and honestly, it's so liberating. The message is simple. Stop trying to be someone you're not. There's no single magic formula. The best leaders are authentic leaders. And this whole playbook is designed to help you figure out what that looks like for you.
And this isn't just some academic theory. The author actually lived it. I mean, can you imagine? It's 2009, the world economy is in a free fall, and you decide that's the time to walk away from a safe corporate gig to start your own thing? That's gutsy. And that personal journey is really the bedrock of this whole playbook. It proves that taking your own path, even when it is absolutely terrifying, is where the real magic happens.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We're going to move from the inside out, covering 5 key areas. We'll kick things off with the leadership starting point, then dive into mastering your inner game, building unstoppable teams, connecting strategy to action, and finally anchoring it all by leading with timeless principles.
Right, so the playbook starting point is just so simple, but so crucial. You can't possibly lead other people if you can't lead yourself first. This whole first section is about getting your own house in order, mastering your focus, your discipline, and maybe most importantly, your energy.
Now, a core tool here is learning to tell the difference between what's just urgent and what's actually important. You know the urgent stuff, right? It's the email that's screaming at you, the phone call you have to take now. It makes you feel busy, but the important stuff, that's what actually moves the needle in the long run. The playbook uses what's called the Eisenhower matrix to force you to see that difference and stay focused. And that leads to this huge shift in perspective. So many of us are obsessed with managing our time. But here's the thing. Time is finite. You only get 24 hours. The playbook argues it's way more important to manage your energy, which, unlike time, is a renewable resource. I mean, think about it. You can have a totally free afternoon, but if you have zero energy, what good is that time? It's completely worthless. And this metaphor just perfectly captures the idea. Stop thinking of yourself as a machine that's supposed to run 24/7 until you just break. Instead, start acting like a professional athlete. An athlete knows that peak performance isn't just about the intense effort. It's about the intense effort followed by deliberate recovery. Rest isn't lazy. Rest is part of the strategy. Okay, let's build on that. Once you've got your own inner game sorted out, what's next? Well, you're only one person. The next job is to amplify your impact, and you do that by building an absolutely unstoppable team. And the first step is just creating absolute, undeniable clarity. The playbook calls these wildly important goals, or WIGs. This isn't a list of 10 priorities. Come on, if you have 10 priorities, you have no priorities. This is about identifying the 2, maybe 3 things that matter more than anything else. That's how everyone on the team knows exactly what winning looks like.
But clear goals alone won't cut it. Great teams need a few other non-negotiable ingredients. It all has to be built on a foundation of trust. And you need a zero-tolerance policy for toxic behavior and, crucially, for chronic underperformance. Because let me tell you, nothing will demotivate your A players faster than watching B or C players get a pass. It's a team killer.
All right, so you've got yourself in a good place and you've built a great team with a clear goal. So what? A brilliant strategy that just sits in a PowerPoint deck is completely useless. This next piece is all about execution. It's about building that bridge from a cool idea to actual tangible results. And a super powerful way to think about this is the 2 horizons model. Horizon 1 is all about optimizing what you're doing right now, making the current business better, faster, smarter. But at the same time, you have to be working on Horizon 2, which is inventing tomorrow's business. Great leaders are masters at this balancing act, keeping the lights on today while building the power plant for tomorrow. So how do you actually make that happen? The playbook lays out a really simple but incredibly powerful 4-step rhythm. First, pick just a few key priorities. Second, make it crystal clear who owns what. Third, create a regular rhythm, a cadence for following up. And fourth, you measure your progress and you adapt. See, it's not rocket science, but it demands discipline.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The magic isn't in the big kickoff meeting where everyone's excited and eating pizza. Real, lasting change happens in this steady, sometimes boring, relentless rhythm of disciplined follow-through. That's where it's at. So finally, all of this stuff, mastering yourself, building great teams, executing flawlessly, it all needs to stand on a solid foundation. Because when the world gets chaotic, and trust me, it will, you are going to need an anchor. I absolutely love this metaphor. In a world that is just constant noise and change, your job as a leader isn't to be a little boat getting tossed around by every single wave. Your job is to be the lighthouse, to be that steady, grounded, reliable source of light that guides the way, no matter how bad the storm gets. And it all comes down to this one simple, powerful truth. You can't control the storm, but you can always control your response. In that little gap of time between something happening and you reacting, that is where your power as a leader lives. The choices you make in that moment, to choose curiosity instead of blame or courage instead of fear, that's what defines everything. Look, this whole playbook is about action, not just theory. It's about doing, not just knowing. So we'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is the one small, concrete thing you're going to do starting today to move your own needle?